So Dan, say hello to everybody. We're about to go live.
We are about to go live with a hot mic, baby. Let's rock and roll.
That's right. Let's make some crypto money in 2023. Let's go.
You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jordan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Boom! That's exactly it. Do that. Let's do that.
Unbelievable. Here we are.
I know. Just when you think it can't get any better. That's how we roll. You know, I'm just like so pumped lately. I'm here at Starbucks because I'm out with the client and all that stuff. But I'm getting out like doing sales calls again. When I tell you it's so good. These people, you know what I've learned, Christophe?
Tell us what you've learned, ladies and gentlemen.
People just can't handle the dish. I mean, they don't know what they're in for. It's like they physically try to be in a bad mood and they can't do it.
There's tons of people that are here already. It must be because they don't want to hear us knuckleheads on the screen, because we have a special guest that we're going to get to here. So if you're watching on any of the tubes, LinkedIn, YouTube, we're even in the Twitterverse if you want to chime in there. Hi, hello, everyone. Robert on LinkedIn. This show's live. And there is no better show to have live than our guest today. And just because Dan is, he would normally cancel in a situation like this. And Dan, by the way, you live in a Starbucks, you make it sound like, oh, I'm out doing sales calls again, like you ever stopped.
Well, I mean, it's they're allowing me into their place again. I don't think I can make it to London yet because there's. I actually did a presentation once to a bunch of guys from London. It was great. Like, they came up afterwards and they said, "Oh, that was so good. I never heard." But like, it was crickets throughout the whole thing. It's like they just didn't show emotions. But I got Janelle here and Kayla. They're just hanging out here. I have to apologize to them because I'm loud in advance. But anyway, here we go. We're going to make it happen for you guys. But I'm prepared for all you Londoners. I'm drinking tea today. I got my I'm a big into thermos living. You know what I have in my thermos today?
Wait. Let me guess. Don't say, because you were about to say it. You always do that.
Ahead.
You always go like, "Hey, do you want to know?" And then just let me guess.
You'll never guess.
Matzo ball soup.
No, close. Spaghettios. I mean, what's better?
That was maybe my third or fourth guess.
But had I known that I was dealing with a bunch of guys from across the pond, I would have had Yorkshire pudding or fish and chips or spotted
Don't hurt
dick.
Yourself, Dan.
That's
Don't
what I put. I'll put some spotted dick. All right, listen, enough of me. We want to get this guy on because I don't know about you, but I've lost a ton of money in crypto, and it was because I didn't listen to the wisdom of this guy. And so please, without any further ado, to save me and my marriage, please help me welcome my best friend, Jeremy. You don't expect me to
hello. It's working, guys. Can you hear me? Just a bit
it's working. It's working. We need a little bit of a longer segue. Dan was so excited to get you on.
Well, it's because I'm getting like really dirty looks from people across the way. It's just awesome. But anyway, Jeremy, thank you for coming back and trying to save my marriage with all the money that I've cost my poor bride with this crypto. And you, by the way, who I met you a year ago, actually tried to save me but I was too foolish to take. It's always a dollar short. So explain to me how your system actually works, because and try to dumb it down for people like me.
Gosh, okay, Dan. Well, anyway, great to be back again, guys. Absolute pleasure, actually. And then we have a good UK contingency on the chat. So welcome.
Yeah, you brought your fan club with you, which is just
growing.
absolutely beautiful.
I think we've got Boston. I think Lynn's from. We have a good transatlantic link anyway. So
yeah, there we go.
Anyway, so, Dan, listen. Big question. This whole crypto space. Anyway, I just want to give a bit of introduction. So I'm one of the partners, co-founders at AlgoDynamix. What we do is price forecasting, mostly on crypto, but there's stocks, there's equities, there's commodities. So we do the price forecasting. Tricky bit about price forecasting, and I keep telling people over and over again, looking at the past is not going to tell you about the future. And this sounds like a silly comment. It's like, Dan's like, well, yes, Jeremy, of course, looking at the past, looking at in your rear view mirror is not going to tell you about the road ahead. And unfortunately, most mathematics, most predictive systems tend to look at the past to try and infer the future, and that is just wrong. So that is just not the way to doing it. And what we're doing with our clever software, AI, we're looking at real-time order flow, real-time activity. So Dan, trying to answer your question, how do we do it? It's what is happening now in the market? How are people behaving? How are participants behaving? How is the crowd behaving? How are the exchanges behaving? And that will tell you about, are we expecting upside or downside in the crypto market? So that's the intro. Dan, am I making any sense here? Am I talking English gibberish again? What's your comments on that, sir?
Yeah, you see that? See, now he's learning on how to sell. Always ask the customer, does that make sense? By the way, for you people out there who are trying to sell, never, when someone asks you a question, you've earned the right to close. And the close is, does that make sense? Which forces me to say yes. So you got it. So yeah, but
it really didn't make sense to you, did it, Dan?
Well, if I could, I just caught the beginning. So here's the thing.
All right.
So the thing is, you don't look at the past. What your algorithm does is look at the now, which is and like a year ago, I almost believed that. But now with the advent of all this chat GPT and like actually physically using this crazy new AI they have, now I kind of believe it. That you could actually look at
you
now.
You can do it actually. And you've seen the results. We have to be careful. We can't share it, I guess, from solicitation point of view. But Dan, you've seen the results, in terms of
Well, let me set you up. You keep on saying you can't give numbers. You're teasing poor people. So I'm down like 60% in my like this year. I'm down 60% in whatever I invested, which is painful. And so with your system, had I had my stuff in your system, looking at the past, what would I have seen?
You would have seen double digits positive returns, basically. So instead of being minus 50, 60, Dan, you'll be in plus 17, 18, whatever the numbers are, basically. So, and listen, without going into too many details, the secret is, it's not a secret, is avoid the disaster, avoid the crashes, because we've had a few disasters along the way. Just make sure you are not invested when disaster is about to strike, basically. And that's how we managed to get these sort of remarkable.
All right. Well, so how does a normal person, meaning someone like Chris Stone, how does a normal person who's not putzing around all day looking at all these numbers, the up and down, knows when to get in and out, how does a normal person utilize a system like that without being involved?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dan. The point is, you don't have time to putz around all day. Even professional day traders probably don't have time to sort of putz around all day. It's difficult. It's challenging. There's a lot of data, and we've seen it with the chat AI stuff. Actually, machines can be much better. They could be more informed, more decisive, better decision making. So, Dan, the answer is give it to a machine. Using our software. So there we go. That's the website. Thank you for putting up it. So this is just overview of some of the services. So I guess sales pitch. Yes, you can buy the software. Thank you very much. No problems. We can happily subscribe you to the software. And then we have partnerships too. So if you don't even want to bother with the software, you can deposit your account to our various partners. I'll mention our UK partner, Solidai.co. I don't know, Chris, if you can probably just mention the website. So that's our UK partner. So they have a crypto basket using our product essentially. So they've taken the software, they've done all the clever stuff, they've done the integration, and all you have to do is just deposit your money in the crypto basket, and it'll make all the decisions for you, essentially. But there we go. That's our AI technology. Thank you for showing the side of that one, basically. That's in the shorter pitch, Dan. Oh, that's me a few years ago. That's very kind of you. That's thank you, Chris. That's
yeah. You look 12 in this picture.
Hopefully, I look 15 now. Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
This is some of the technology. You had the slide just now, Chris, about that's what we're doing with real-time behavioral. That's what we're doing. So we're looking at the order flow. We're looking at participants in real time, and then if there's a problem developing real time, we'll flag it. So we'll create a little alert. We'll create a little thing to say, guys, something's wrong here. So as a day trader, you can ignore it, or if you're using one of our products, funds, crypto basket, it will just do it for you, essentially. So just get in and out of the market. So,
all right. Well, so let me clean this up.
Yeah,
so to figure out what you're saying. So when you say that you flag it, it's not you flagging it. It's the software doing its own flagging.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Which is, I understand in your world, you could just say that, but it's, I don't want to have to worry. So what you're saying is I don't have to worry about it. It's just happening. Okay.
Big data, very big data.
And there's no fee each time you go in and out of a stock.
No, with our partners, it's included. So you're not paying anything extra. You're using one of our exchange crypto partners. So it's all.
Okay, so it's basically a managed discretionary account. So you have the discretion of it, and. Yeah. And there's a fee on top of it. Again, who cares about fees? See, that's something that's also when you're talking about who cares. You're looking at the total return. Yeah, I don't want to know the garbage that's happened on the inside.
No, you want results driven, basically. And I think just you're iterating, so it's managed, but then it's automated on this end, Dan. So we've got our computers doing all the decision making and the trading.
Well, that's the easiest job in the world. So I mean, who does it? Basically,
who doesn't need it? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dan.
It's a data entry position. And then you walk away and have lunch,
or tea at the. Are you drinking tea, Dan? Is it tea at the Starbucks? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm drinking tea, and
good.
Yeah, I'm big because I can't have. And if I ever have coffee, it's always a decaf. Because my head will blow off. You probably shouldn't drink too much caffeine either there, Hotshot. You have like one sentence all day long. It just keeps on going.
That's beautiful. He's the best podcast guest ever. And you've got the best crowd ever. And the chat is lighting up. So those of you who are joining us, don't be a chicken. We are live, and you have the CEO of AlgoDynamix on Dan Jordan live. And so we can't give medical advice, but we can give crypto advice, or at least that guy can. And so if you do have a question, if you could do me a favor, because lots of people chiming in here, if you do have a question, please put the letter Q in front of it, and that way I can definitely highlight it. But we do have some questions, Jeremy, if you're game.
I'm ready.
Okay, Robert Gaskell.
Before you do that, I have to make fun of Chris Stone. It's not algorithmics. It's not the Eurythmics. He's not going to be
AlgoDynamix.
Okay.
AlgoDynamix. Sweet crypto dreams are made of these. So go ahead and get that redirect for on the to garner that SEO that we just already got. AlgoDynamix. Thank you, Dan, for that catch. Robert Gaskell on LinkedIn is asking, did your algorithm give you any insights into the recent price spike?
Thank you, Robert. So planted good questions. Yes, absolutely. So in the past 2 weeks, I think the Bitcoins have been up enormously. We caught most of that. So we tend to catch most of the upside, and we tend to avoid most of the downside. Not every time, Robert, but I think that's what we do most of the time. So it's results speak for themselves. So yes, that was a very good live case study in terms of
and that's a good question. And I should tell I've been speaking with my friend here, Jeremy, for the past year, and he's always said, he goes, hey, there's a couple of flags here going down. It's 2 flags going down. You might want to sell. And of course I didn't. And he was absolutely right. Every time. It's like not just like a little flag. It's you hit me when it was like a double flag. That's right. And
it's a machine, Ramadan. It's a big clever machine. We have massive data centers in the cloud, right? It's not me. I'm just whatever.
Look at you being humble.
I know.
Look at you being humble.
Big machines, Chris. Big machines in the background.
So Peter's got a question, and actually I had this question as well because as Dan said, you have one long sentence that goes on for 12 minutes, which is beautiful. But the investment partner that you had mentioned again, we want to make.
So it's Solidai. Can I type it in the box, Chris, or can you maybe type it? So it's solidai.co. That's the UK.
How do we
partner
spell
bureau.
that?
SOL IDI. Can we type it somewhere? I'm not actually. I don't know if somebody else can type it actually. So that's
Solidai.co.
Solidai, and then it's crypto
Yeah.
baskets. Yeah, Solidai crypto
Yeah,
baskets.
we've got
Maybe it would be better
Oh,
if
there we
you
go. Thank you. Oh, thank
gave
you.
it
Thank
to
you.
us in
There
Greek.
There we go. Greek. So just go there, register essentially, and then you get the whole details. Once again, just do your due diligence. It's not a solicitation. It's just information that we have partners. Just to be clear, and I want to emphasize this. This is a fully regulated UK FCA exchange. We've seen a lot of problems over the years and the months, basically. So just be a bit cautious about where you deposit your money, basically, right? So just to emphasize that, and it's open, so it's international. So they can take clients from around the world, basically.
So let me ask you this: and do you have a partner that we could work with here in the States?
Not yet, Dan. Thank you for bringing it up. Actually, so we are looking, we are talking to people. We don't have the equivalent yet, so this is definitely a shout out. If you're running a smaller crypto exchange, or if you are running service managed accounts, please reach out, basically, because I think it's we heard there's a few people in North America, Dan. Is that true? There's a few people living there. Is that correct? Or
just a couple.
Well,
just a couple.
I would think it would be a fairly lucrative market, but so let's say I have some stocks in Bitcoin stocks. Let's say I have some crypto in Coinbase, and they're all different ones. Larger ones or smaller. Not all Bitcoin. Actually, mostly not Bitcoin. And I wanted to send it over to this managed account that you're talking about. First of all, can I do it in the UK exchange? And secondly, is it like a normal account transfer, or do you have to sell everything and then they rebuy it?
Here's the thing, and I think thank you, Lynn. She's actually based in Boston. Lynn is chair of Boston Blockchain Society, so shout out to Lynn actually. So Dan, because it's crypto, which is a nice thing, you can do a direct crypto to crypto transfer, if that makes sense. Because the whole idea of this whole crypto that we can cut out the banks. So if you know how to do a blockchain transfer, essentially, you can do a direct transfer into the exchange partners, basically. So that's sort of is that answering your question, Dan, about don't mess around with fiat, don't mess around with banks. You can do a direct blockchain transfer, which is the whole point of crypto, essentially, isn't it? You can sort of cut out the middleman. So that's.
Well, that's great. Perfectly answers it. And I do have one of your friends is emailing me, and I promised to get back with him and do that. And so we'll get something.
Give it a try. Give it a try, Dan. That's what we always say, right?
I have to clear it with the boss at home. I've made so many mistakes. I'm not doing it without getting some sort of acknowledgement.
Lovely Sharon. Yes. Hello.
We've got a comment here, and Jeremy, I see this a lot and hear this a lot, and that is this is a pain point for a lot of people and hesitancy for all of this. And guys saying no matter what anyone tells you, it won't matter if you keep your crypto in an exchange like Coinbase. They will steal it all. What would you say to someone? And now I've spoken to other people like Guy that always sort of say that, and even some of the gurus will preempt things that they say, like, "Hey, there's always going to be a risk of everything going away." How would you deal with an objection?
I agree. I fully agree. Everybody here, it is risky, basically, and then hence my comment about it's Coinbase. I don't want to name and shame, but whoever your exchange, your broker is, basically do some due diligence. Just understand where they're registered. Are they regulated? Do you recognize the country? Just being blunt here. If you can't answer the basic questions, Chris, it's probably not the right answer. Absolutely. And then just emphasizing again, everybody, it is volatile. Once again, not advice, not wanting to sort of trespass your regulators. I think what they tell us in the UK, it's like you put 1, 2, 3% of your wealth maximum in crypto. That's 1 or 2 or 3% maximum. And I think that's the right answer. That's what they're telling us in the UK, and I agree. Don't put your house on the line, don't remortgage it, just don't be silly. So I think just emphasizing that. So
yeah, because if you look at your overall your overall wealth, 1 or 2%, feels like hey, if I could 100x that potentially, well then that's a huge payoff, right? But if you lose 1 or 2% or 3%, hey, you gave it a shot, right? You stepped into the batter's box and took a swing. Matthias here is talking about the positions. Are the positions on Solidai leveraged?
Okay, so the short answer is no, and what just explanation. We're not borrowing any crypto funds. We're not margining it up. We're not doing any of that nonsense, basically. So we just buy in and out, 1 units basically. So very important. So unleveraged. So it's your account will not blow up, Chris. I think that's once again just
it's much less complicated than we're trying to make it be. Put some money in there. It's going to buy and sell based
and you'll lose 60%, right? Craig.
Well, no, I lose 60% because I'm an idiot.
Because you're not listening to us, Dan. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Buying and holding is the foolish thing to do in crypto. Right. To day trade is the appropriate thing to do.
And the other way of being an idiot is to not go to AlgoDynamix, not algorithmics. So sweet crypto dreams are made of this, and you can.
I can't believe we don't have that. That should be.
I know. I should be playing this in the background here. So AlgoDynamix. When did you start this? I'm curious, like origin story for AlgoDynamix. And I don't, I apologize. We covered this on the previous show, but I'm always curious. Were you involved in something else, and then when this got hot, you jumped into it? What's your origin story there?
Good, Chris. Lovely story. So goes back a while now. I did 2014, 2015. So we spun out. So we left University of Cambridge. They gave us a bit of money, and they let us loose, basically, Chris. So that was the origin, which was what happens when you get a few PhDs leaving the university. So that was that, and lovely story, by the way. Quite a few pivots. People, Dan, you're gonna love this. People originally thought we were doing dating apps.
Nice.
Dating apps. I was like, no, guys, we're not doing dating apps. We're doing algorithms. We briefly were involved with medical devices. So, predicting cardiac arrest, heart attacks. Then, with a lot of finance. And then crypto was about 2 years ago. We started doing more and more crypto price forecasting, and that's been taken off hugely, actually. And then it's when our Canadian Tarun, actually, on the business development side, it's like, well, guys, why do you do crypto? Why do you do crypto? We're not sure about it. And then eventually, here we are, basically. And then majority of the business now is crypto. So it's fascinating, actually, how we've sort of moved along and sort of, followed. Customers are asking about it. Well, you can do stocks, you can do shares, you can do commodities. Well, can you do crypto? Okay. Then we are basically. The rest is history, as they say, Chris.
Yeah, and it was on a good run. It was on a good run when you got into it, so it was very good. Which is kind of amazing. Yeah. So, actually, that's first for those people. As far as an origin story, that's how I first met Jeremy, because I called him and asked him for a date, on his app, and it worked out and turned into a
crypto relationship. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm just feeling the love on this live stream. It's amazing.
All right, so let me ask you, people, what is your just general opinion about the market right now and in this field? But actually, before you answer that, I got to give a shout out to Guy, who said that earlier. Guy is actually the father of one of my daughter's friends who just had a birthday. Happy 21st birthday to Carly. And we got to get together, Guy. I'll talk to you soon. All right, go on, move on. So Jeremy, you were saying,
what was the question again, Dan?
Tell me about what your feeling is about the crypto market. Is it as I know it's volatile, but is it something that people ought to be fearful of, or are the fundamentals pretty much the same as they were when it began?
God, it's a difficult one. Listen, I think it's great. From a technology point of view, I absolutely love it. So let me just be absolutely clear about that. It reminds me a bit of the. You guys probably remember the .com years. Sorry, I'm just assuming you're around. Dan, Chris, do you remember the year 2000 with the internet companies and everything else? So.
My grandfather spoke about it.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Dan, you're probably too young too. I didn't want to say Dan's too young for the .com. It reminds me a bit of the .com years, where lovely technology. We couldn't quite figure out this internet. Yeah, lots of hype, basically. Lots of short-term speculation, lots of overhype, crash, unfortunately, which is what we've seen basically. And so I think there's some analogies with the .com and the Web 2.0 there, where we sort of overhyped it in the short term. Longer term, we underestimated the internet companies. And I suspect it's going to be the same with this whole crypto space. We're still a bit overhyping it. Long term, we're probably underestimating still the transformation.
So tell me, what do you think the market looks like in 25 years from now? It's like no one's going to hold you to it. So go ahead and just throw it out.
Wow. Gosh, that's
yeah, you got to think long term, baby. Why? I'm like the Chinese. I think long term, baby.
Long term, okay. It'll be around. It'll be around in some shape or form. I don't want to say it's going to be Bitcoin or Ether, one of the other ones. It'll definitely be there. I'll distinguish too between the cryptos and a bit of a mouthful too. Some of the stable coins, the fiat replacement type thing. So it's going to be there, Dan. It's going to be there. I think it's going to be ubiquitous. I think it's going to be part of the fabric, entirely part of the fabric, a bit like the internet is today. So that's what I'm going to say from 25 years from now. It's like it'll be no brainer. Yes, of course, there's a decentralized blockchain. Yes, of course there is. This is how we transact. So that's my prognostics, Dan. It's there. It's going to be ubiquitous. Like water, electricity. You just know it's there. You just don't pay attention to it.
I tend to agree. And I think it just makes sense.
Conceptually, I think people okay, why are the banks just generally, I think people are
the banks are broke.
Yeah, but it's like, why should I be giving this when I can just say, hey, I want to give this directly to someone and not have someone involved in it? And so I think conceptually, and in my space, in the podcasting and live streaming space, that whole value for value transaction is really heating up, where you basically, when you listen to a particular podcast, when somebody fires up the Sales Energizer by Dan Jordan, there's a plug for that podcast, and they start listening to it, you can have Satoshis just automatically by the minute go into Dan's digital wallet. And for me, for someone that says, hey, I'm listening to it, maybe I do a buy me a coffee and do like all of these things, but there's somebody else transacting, involved in that sort of transaction. Now, when I do this, it's going directly into that creator's pocket. And so conceptually, I think most people would say, hey, I don't need someone to take money out of my money. I just want to give this money to someone else. And I think that's where I think the interest is going to come. It's just the trust, I think, needs to be elevated, right?
We need to a bit more clearing up, a bit more regulation. I think we all agree on that one, Chris. But absolutely, there's a lot of middlemen. Yeah, you don't think so, Dan? Okay.
No, I think a bit more trust, but less regulation.
That's right. Well, yeah.
We don't need any more regulate. That's the stuff taking the stuff on the inside. The whole idea of the blockchain, as far as I know, and I could be completely wrong, is it's that the middleman that's causing the problem. We're going directly to the end. And so we're when the government or whoever's doing the regulating comes in the middle with their white horse to say, we're going to save both of you, they're scooping up too much on the inside. We need less regulation. I trust you, Jeremy, much more than I trust some invisible bureaucrat with a regulation.
In regulation. Okay, no, fair point, Dan.
I tell you what builds the trust, Dan, is seeing videos like this. So Jeremy, can you explain this? And for those of you who are not yet connected with our friend here, Jeremy, can you explain this video for us?
So this was in Luxembourg, which is a minuscule country. I think Luxembourg's probably smaller than Georgia or something else. A minuscule country. I was actually promoting one of our crypto groups, so we've got a Cambridge crypto group. So I was just announcing our next Cambridge crypto group session. And so Carol's in the background. There we go. So we have they were very interested. Actually, they were very interested in the project.
Yeah, what creates great viral videos are babies, puppies, and cows. Those are the top three. Cows. So good job.
I need more cows. More cows. Thank you.
Yeah, the origins of mad cow disease. That was perfect. You're bringing so much to the States here. Hey, when are you gonna When are you gonna come over to the States?
At some point. So we got a decent operation in California too on the equity. It's not on the crypto. So
explain that.
So long story short, actually. So in California, your West Coast, your hippies there. So big customer, they're using our software, and same idea basically. They've created an investment fund, which is actually it's a stock market fund. So it's an equity fund based on our software. So that's on that one. So it's
your software can do the same thing with stocks as it can with crypto?
Absolutely, stocks too. Actually, not always as much returns, by the way, because the stocks tend to be a bit, a bit smoother, basically. Because how do you make money? You need volatility, obviously. You need movement, otherwise you can't make money. But yeah, we have an equity fund in California, so that's going quite well. So we got the crypto one in the UK, obviously, Crypto Basket. We got one in Switzerland, which is very exciting. It's impact fund, environmental fund. And Singapore, they've signed up, they've paid, so that's next month, basically. So yeah, we have these fund partnerships, crypto baskets around the world, essentially, Dan. So that's how we sort of expanding globally.
Wait a second. So now I'm thinking, if I am looking to protect my money, this would protect you on the downside, because you would see if there was a whole market collapse, you would see those flags and they would just trade out of everything.
Yeah, that's the idea. So that's what we're doing, and that's our business. You can buy the software, great, thank you very much, or you can work with some of our partners. So that's how we structured the operations, really. So that's what we're doing, and all made in Cambridge, guys. That little village, that little village north of London, basically. So that's where the technology is based, and then server infrastructure around the world. So that's
well. Let me ask you: Are you a typical? Say, this is how I would describe you.
Okay.
Brilliant engineer type who actually has a personality. So that's how I would describe you. Are you typical for what's going on in that Cambridge area, or are you a standalone kind of freak of nature who plays with puppies?
They're all a bit freakish around here, Dan. I think everybody's got their person. I mean, lovely little facts. Actually, we probably don't have time to do a little tour basically, but I think there's.
Dude, we have college. Like 22. We got 22
20
minutes. We got all the time in the world.
We got all the
time.
Talk about
your moles. I don't care.
Maybe next time we'll do a little scenic tour of Cambridge. Actually, I think one of the colleges. There's a university, obviously, and there's 32 colleges, so that's how it's structured. Hilarious. One of the colleges has a banking license. And I think that same college has more Nobel Prize laureates than the whole of France, basically. So every college has a little tidbit of information in Cambridge. And then another fact too is actually, I have to do it with our American friends here. So Harvard University was actually spin out from Cambridge. So John Harvard left Cambridge in whatever it was, actually 200 years ago.
Shots fired.
And
Wow.
he came over to Boston, I guess, anyway, and he started Harvard basically. And that was a bit of history.
Wow.
So
well, I guess if you go back to that era, the whole bloody country was spun off from that. So
way back
we got
in
that
time.
whole thing.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was way back in time anyway.
So let me ask you. We speak slightly differently, but do we speak how the people spoke in England back then, and you guys have evolved, or how? I'm curious why you guys got go so uppity and high and mighty.
I would have to ask the missus, actually, the partner. She's a linguist by training, Dan. So I'm
Really?
going to not answer that one, Jeff.
I'm interested in that, because I can't figure out, if we came from the same place, why we speak slightly differently.
Why it's sort of
and like South Africans speak more closely to you, and Australians. Then how do we get this new crazy thing? I think we got it from like.
Was it the French or the German? More immigrants, I guess, wasn't it? I had no idea.
I think Boston.
The French
has something to do
screwed
with
us
it. I think it was Boston. So apparently, Jeremy, you've got a spot on Lynn's futon when you come to the East Coast.
East Coast. So we do something with the Boston Blockchain Society too. Actually, that's exciting.
We definitely
telling
have
you,
a question here from Matthias.
He's back with the dating app again.
Yes.
With Lynn, he's back with the dating app.
Swipe left. Here we go. Matthias, is there a global cap to the amount of money deployed with your system that would make it ineffective?
Whoa. Okay. So how big can the crypto basket? I don't know is a short answer. I think it's a question for the exchange essentially. Don't know, Matthias. But thank you. We're not there yet.
He's such an engineer. I mean, he can't.
Hey, no, but an honest one. I mean, look, you go live and talk about crypto. I mean, you're going to get questions that sometimes, on the spot, you may not have an answer for. And I love the honesty. I tell you what else I love about this is when we talk about the key features. I love, what struck me when I came across this on the website, the second one, early warning. Right. Alerts delivered hours or even days before major directional market movements happen. Gain critical thinking and deliberation time to overlay your own investment and trading strategy. That's what just caught my eye, like on this. Would you say, like from your customers, from your clients, from the people that are utilizing this, out of these key features, what would you say is the one that they feel like is the most valuable?
It's Chris, I think it's just repeating what you've just said, essentially. That's the products. That's what we're doing at AlgoDynamix.
Mm-hmm.
It's the advanced warning. It's just looking at the behavioral characteristic and say, guys, gals, something's not right here. You better rotate or get out of the market or sell or hedge or whatever they want to do, basically. But that's what it is, early warning. But just to reiterate, Chris, and we had this last time, I don't even remember actually, stuff's already happening. There is distress. There are some anomalies. There's some strange behavior going on. You just don't see it because you don't have the AI. And it's not that we have a magic crystal ball, whatever. No, it's already there. You just don't see it yet because you don't have the software. You don't have the tools, essentially. So just people think, oh my God, it's impossible. It's too difficult. It's like, no, it's there. It's happening.
Right.
Your X-ray lenses or whatever.
And it's not reading the headlines that people are utilizing to grab your eyeballs and your clicks, right? It's actual data and algorithms that are utilizing real actual data, not taking data and going, look at me, click on me, and taking that as truth.
Okay, I'm gonna
headlines. Come on, Dan. Come on, hit us.
Yeah, let me fix your marketing because this is great stuff and you're missing. It's not that you're trying to attract people to your place with headlines. You said it right before. Stuff is already happening. What AlgoDynamix does, sweet dreams are made of these, is take your blindfolds off. It's already happening. It's just now you can see it.
I'm going to write this down. Actually, take your blindfold off. Thank you, Dan.
That's
clear the clouds.
Yes, clear the clouds. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It's awesome. See, now you could see what's happening, and if you decide to act on it, act on it. But now you have more information, and it's real-time stuff. I love that it's happening right now.
Important.
And so, I personally am a lot like AlgoDynamix. Because I don't watch the news. I don't know what the hell's going on in anybody's world but my own. I wake up and thinking about myself and just my immediate surroundings. And so I have no clue what's happening, like with the economy. What do you expect the economy to do? As far as I'm concerned, I'll figure it out while it's happening. I don't know what the weather is.
Good answer.
I don't know what the weather is until I get rain on my head.
Real time, firsthand. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for reiterating again.
And that's when you know to come in, and that's the same thing that your thing does. So I think it's magic. So if I wanted to get started, let's say a couple $1,000s or something like that, I could just take those cryptocurrencies and just transfer them over. And I can call that guy and he'll take care.
We want our partners, basically. So with our regulated exchanges and partners, basically. That's
your partners, and you're looking for more partners.
Absolutely. As I said, the US has been, we got our stock fund in California. We're still a bit low, actually. So definitely shout out in terms of, expanding the business. And
so you have an actual fund there, but they don't do crypto. They just do.
There's no crypto. There's no crypto.
Why don't they do it? Chicken?
It's not their thing. They're a bit old school, down. So it's like, okay, they're a bit like, we only do stocks and shares. Okay, well, there's more than stocks and shares these days, right? So I think we need.
All right. Well, well, then without getting too into the weeds, because you're so terrified of regulations.
Thank you.
How is that stock fund doing comparatively?
Good. Very good. We're happy with the performance. But, as I said, regulatory issue, we cannot show you the numbers. We cannot display, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think it would have been.
I don't care if you're happy with the performance. Are the people who are in the fund happy with the performance?
Definitely. There's more money coming in, and it's just a bit more background on the stock fund. So it's California based, and it's it's for the high net worth individuals. It's the the first generation entrepreneurs essentially, and the pain point there is that sometimes traditional financial services or private banking or wealth managers don't necessarily provide the service they want or expect, basically. So that's the reason why we're partnering with family offices, high net worth, to sort of set up their own investment vehicles, and that's a lot of the bread and butter of our business essentially. So it's working with the high net worth and saying, guys, you can use different service providers, or you can start doing it yourself, and that's how we've developed most of our partnerships essentially. So that's the genesis, and that's how we sort of get these funds going and everything else. So that's important.
Do you? By the way, I recommend that everybody who invests anything asks this of their broker. So, do you invest in this?
Yes, I am definitely. I'm in it big time. So, and I've done extremely well, Dan. With hindsight, I should have put more in, but I have to stick to my rules. Right. So small amounts. Just whatever you can afford to lose, basically.
Okay, so we could just, given enough time, we could be just like you.
If you so desire, Dan, that's the next question. You have to drink more tea, though. Get more tea, and then I don't know. Do you drink Earl Grey, Dan? I got a box of Earl Grey. Do you drink
Earl Grey?
Earl
That's
Grey.
my jam.
You know what I do? I asked my wife, because I can't drink coffee, and so she started getting tea, and so of course she gets like fancy stuff, orange peacoat with all this crazy stuff, whatever, and then. Yes. We went to Walmart. Have you heard of Walmart? It's a store here in America. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, and she went there, and there was a whole box of thing for it was like $2, and it was like 100 of them. And I'm like, yeah, look, get that one. Anyway, it's Earl Grey. Love it. So I'm a big fan of the Grey. Yeah. So, but I drink it like the British do. I think I put a little cream and honey. Is that good?
Not sure about the honey, but that's whatever, Dan. If you're
not sure about the honey, are you crazy? You have to have honey. It's good. It's the reason why I don't get sick ever. Because you get honey from the area that you live in, and then you create immunity. I may be making that up.
No, it's a good story.
But I'm a big fan of the honey. And I have a kettle, and so I make it in the morning, and I use it with my kettle. This is real interesting stuff, I know. But yeah, no, BFOT. Big fan of tea. All right. So
big fan of tea. Well done.
Do you make your tea, or does your wife? Tell me your family situation. You have a wife, and I know you must have a dog.
Cat. So we're in the office now. So in the office we have like 2, 3, 4 different dogs, and a cow, and then a cat at home. A cat at home.
Oh yeah, what's the cat's name?
Alfred. Very, very, very adorable. Very as you would expect from a cat, right?
That's a stately name for a cat. That's
Alfred. Do you call him Alfred when you're angry at him?
Alfie. Well, we're never angry at him because he's just so well behaved. He's very predictable, So food time. Okay, that's it. Sleep time and whatever. Cuddles time.
No children yet?
No, Dad. No children. We have a cat in you.
Okay, cats are good. So my daughter, today's her birthday. Yes, she's 21.
Happy birthday, Sophie.
Yeah, it was.
Sophie Bell's 21 years old. Can't believe it. And I called her.
Oh, good! Look at that! Well, thank you.
I called her to sing "Happy Birthday," which is what I do. But her mailbox was full or whatever, so I couldn't even sing. So I had to text her, just like everybody else. The whole world is going to texting stuff. It's crazy. You can't even sing on the phone anymore. All right, so you are you're doing this. You got the family. You're not coming to America to do a tour. How can we help you get this out more? What can we do to help?
Yeah, thank you. We're on the live show, so I think we've got a few hundred people here already. So I think that's the first thing first. So get the word out there, Dan. You've got ChatGPT. You've got all these other AI things. We have an AI for financial services. Forecasting. So I think just get the word out there. And, how we're doing essentially, and then so have to be a bit careful about sort of cross promoting some of our crypto funds and partnerships and everything else. But we have partners around the world. So, using our software, or you can buy the software directly and then do your.
So if somebody just wants to get involved and dip their toes in the water, as we used to say, the first place to start would be just to go to your site.
Or LinkedIn, just connect to me on LinkedIn. We'll have a little chat, basically, a little exploratory call to see. And then, you look at the cow pictures. There we go. You look at the cow pictures, and that'll be
the cow.
I think there's a dog
added value.
Too, isn't it? The added value on the cows and the dogs.
That is absolutely correct. You
You know,
get predictive algorithms for your crypto and shots of Jeremy with cows. I mean,
cows.
seriously, that
well,
and sweet crypto dreams are made of this. I mean, I can't believe how much value we've added to AlgoDynamix today. This is
I
amazing.
know. Well, so you have now you said you started this from Cambridge, and they gave you a little money and a bunch of teams. So you have other investors in this? Or you have, or are you just the CEO and the head honcho, or are they deeply involved? Is everybody deeply
there's
involved?
a few actually. So you
where
know,
are they?
the American story. You know, venture capitalists. So we've got some business angels too. So we've got a little board of directors, shareholder structure. So you know, company in that sense. And
so
one of the partners.
So they just have you for the looks of the operation. Okay. Well, actually, on that note, you know, there are plenty of people who you know, have good ideas and they want to get started in business, and you know, they may be professors and all. How would you suggest they, if with their idea, get started to get funded and move this thing along? Many people can go, you know, this far, but you've taken it to the end. It's kind of impressive. How would you suggest somebody else does that?
God, good question.
You hear that, Chris Stone? Good question.
There's always good questions. Dan knows how to ask the question, isn't it? Really. So,
did you really mean it, Jeremy? Did you really mean it, or are you just saying it? I mean, it is his show.
After all
you
these
could be
years,
just between us.
Between us and a few, I don't know if you're
right.
Got there on that one, really. So, it's challenging, and I think, you know, Dan, I listen to you know, every day, Dan. You got your little, you know, your little 2-minute snippets. Actually, highly recommended. So just follow Dan. Yeah, follow Dan on LinkedIn. He's got his. Is it Sales Energizer, isn't it, Dan? Every day you've got a little 5-minute, 2 minutes thing.
So listen to Dan. You're right. Everybody needs to link in with me. I mean, everybody.
So, you know, link into Dan and just follow his 2 minutes every morning. So that's it. So, Dan, it's sales, and you know, who am I telling? You know, talking to sales professionals. You know, we tried a few things. We tried medical. We tried dating app, everything else, and you just listen to the customer. The customer wants crypto. You better start doing crypto. The customer wants a ready-made crypto basket. You better start doing a crypto basket. The customer wants a equity fund. You better start doing equity fund. So I think just being, you know, commercially responsive to what people are asking for, because there's nothing worse, and especially Cambridge, right? You know, super duper tech. You know, you just got a Nobel Prize. I mean, doesn't mean people are going to buy it. That's not enough. The fact you've got a Nobel Prize in whatever physics or chemistry, that's not enough. You know, so I think making that commercial linkage between, you know, what you have in terms of technology based and what people are prepared to pay for, and that's sales, isn't it, Dan? That's what we're doing every day, isn't it? It's just getting up, it's just talking to people, it's getting the feedback, it's just, you know, seeing what people want, really. And then, so which sounds easy, but it's not, by the way. It's a challenge, isn't it? Enjoy the journey. That's my philosophy. So yes, the journey.
Well, I totally love that. You said some things there, by the way, that need to be flushed out, because they were absolutely right. You're calling it sales, but really at the beginning it's marketing, and you were testing the market. And the best way to test the market to see if your product is, you know, has legs at all, is to put it out there and see if customers buy it or not, and put it out for free or put it out for very cheap. If someone's not going to pay $5 for it, I recommend a lot of people use those kind of places like Fiverr or Upworks or something like that. If you have something, try to sell it for $5. If people aren't going to buy it for $5, they're not going to pay it for $2,000 either. So just find out if your market's there. And there's no failures in marketing. There's only testing. And so you came across to something that the market decided what you were going to sell, not you. It doesn't matter if you love it. Nobody cares if you love it. Nobody cares if you love your business. You know, it's if the customer wants it, and then you can go from there. I think that's excellent, and you followed through that advice. And did it yourself, but people could learn from that. Well, that's excellent. Well, you got any other juice for us? Because I'm running out here.
I'm running out of juice. Yeah. Cook, I think any more audience questions? I'm looking at the chat box, actually. Chris, any more burning questions about the?
I think Craig wants to see you on Kimmel, and he wants you know, a portion of that finder's fee, apparently. And we have a very smart LinkedIn user who has not given their credentials over here. The archaeological linguists are or linguistic archaeologists.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, listen, we get smarter on this show every week. So thank you, LinkedIn user. for lurking in the shadows and giving us this. They're telling us that American and Bostonian pronunciation is identical to Southeastern English of the time, 17th and 18th century.
Thank you for that tidbit. Dan, that answers your
mean,
question. Well done. Okay, thank you. Wow.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, one of the best things about all this AI and just information, because we've been literally collecting information for the past 50 years, and we just didn't know what to do with it and how to get it out. It's very difficult to collect the information. It's easy to get it out, but now with all the dashboards and all they can do, it's easy to be curious. Used to be just, I wonder why that is, and then you're like, I don't know, we'll never know. Now LinkedIn user just pops on something and then we got the answer.
And I just, what else I love, Dan, is that today's show is brought to you by Burger King, which is over your right shoulder.
Yes, I can see it in the background. Wow, that's free placement.
Your other right.
Well spotted, Chris. Yeah.
BK, have it your way there. Even though he's live at a Starbucks, he couldn't prevent us from...
Free placements, guys.
That's right.
Dan, did you plan that? That was an accident, wasn't it? That wasn't planned.
Yeah. Well, it was a happy accident. A happy accident. Always.
I have a hankering for a Whopper. How about you, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I might go for beer after. You don't drink, Dan. I think it's getting us all. I think it's beer.
I'm not necessarily a teetotaler, but I.
Okay. I didn't know that, Dan. Okay, we'll get you for beer then.
But it's just that I like waking up in the morning. All right. Well, I've scared off too many people here, and so I'm getting too many dirty looks. Well, I think this is great. I really appreciate you coming out here today and keeping the show alive, because Chris Stone was killing us. It's just like some people light up a room when they walk in, and some people light it up when they leave. And that's the problem that I have to deal with on occasion with some of these guests. But you were the one who brightens the place up when you walk in. I appreciate you. This was great. I wish nothing but good things happen to you. If anybody's looking for anything for crypto and invest, he's the man. Just go to the website. Chris Stone, once again, perfect show. I appreciate you. More than anything, I'd be more dramatic right now, but you would not believe the dirty looks I'm getting. Go to AlgoDynamix. You guys are awesome. On the Deej. Go get them today.
Go get them. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah.